Another week, another Medical Monday on E-Radio. Good morning and welcome. It's Jan with you, and as always, joined by ophthalmologist Dr. Dylan Joseph. Dr. Dylan Joseph, how was your weekend?
Good morning, Jan. It's a fine Monday and had a wonderful weekend. We did a bit of fishing here in the Southern Cape in the beautiful weather and ready for another week. Off to our national conference actually this week up in Sun City, Johannesburg. First time in person for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
We'll have a meeting, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, so no more virtual meetings. It's actually in person. That's actually very, very nice.
Yeah, I think virtual is here to stay, and I think it will eventually replace, if not be an adjunct to in-person meetings, but yeah, that's the way of the future for sure.
Yeah, but virtually you can't go to Sun City, so it's better to go in person. But
well,
anyway.
That is correct.
Okay, so Dr. Joseph, today you are teaching me something new, and I'm sure our listeners as well, something I didn't know about, called Opti-Therm. What exactly is Opti-Therm?
Yes. Well, we'll go back to maybe about 5 years ago when a patient of mine who saw me from Cape Town, he was in Plettenberg Bay, he stays in Nature's Valley, a professor of biomedical engineering, Professor Tony Bunn. And, it so happened that he had very significant dry eye secondary to oil gland dysfunction of the eyelids. And we basically sat there and said there's a massive need in a market for developing technology to help people with dry eyes secondary to oil gland dysfunction. And if you look at the cause of dry eye, about 90% of it is secondary to dysfunctional oil glands. And the etiology, or meaning the cause of the dry eye, is massive, mostly related to either contact lens use or 4 to 6 hours in front of a computer today. You're doing something called blanking, so you're not actually blinking properly. You're partly lid closing, and you're staring at the screen as well, so you don't close your eyes properly.
Yeah.
So that you develop what's called oil gland dysfunction, and so we sat there and said, well, from his perspective and his background and experience, how can we develop a product that I know will work to treat the oil gland dysfunction? And using his expertise in the biomedical field, we then decided to put this product together called Opti-Therm. And
Wow.
Opti-Therm is essentially a mask which is reusable, it's washable, it's hygienic. It's made of microbead technology on the one side in the form of the heat sachets. So the heat sachets go into the microwave 20 to 30 seconds, they heat up. And on the other side, we've got the cold sachets, which are made of cryogel. And the interesting thing about cryogel is that it doesn't freeze. It gets to below zero without freezing. But the important thing is that it gives you cold temperature for 10 minutes plus, which is what you need. So it's got a dual functionality, which it took us about a year of concept and design to develop, and then testing and R&D, and then trial phases, and then a bit of tweaking on the product. But at the end of it, we came up with a product that is fantastic, and I think are going to make a big difference for people worldwide.
Wow, this is so interesting. I never knew that you were involved in this whole process, Dr. Joseph. That's fantastic. Just tell me, hot and cold masks, when would I use the hot one and when would I use the cold one?
Yeah, excellent question. The majority of the application is going to be for the heat function. So meibomian gland dysfunction or oil gland dysfunction is the biggest cause of dry eye. So what you need to do is there's about 40 rows of vertical oil glands on your bottom lid and just less than that on your upper lid. And those oil glands, unfortunately, become blocked through a number of processes. So the heat application is basically using physics to apply 40 degrees plus to melt this oil. And then the important part is to actually massage these oils out of the glands onto the surface of your eye to keep the eye lubricated, which is an important function to help prevent discomfort, irritation, burning sensation, red eye. And it's also very important, the oil, to prevent evaporation. So that's the primary function of the heat. If patients have, a sty or an inflamed oil gland on one side, you can actually just take the insert out the other eye that you don't need and just use the heat application for the eye that you do. On the other end of the coin, you've got the cooling function, which as a refractive surgeon, which is basically all we do, I do laser vision correction, and a certain number of those procedures are called surface treatments, or PRK. We've talked about it before. Streamline transepithelial treatments. Cross-linking is another application. Unfortunately, after these surgical procedures, the eye can be quite uncomfortable for a day or two. And studies have shown that by reducing the tissue temperature, we actually reduce the pain scores. So people can use this 2, 3, 4 times a day for the first 2 or 3 days after the surgery, applying cold to the eyelids, and it reduces the tissue temperature, reduces pain. The secondary application would be to cosmetic procedures. So I work in conjunction with a plastic surgeon, Dr. Marshall Murdoch, and he does a lot of blepharoplasties, which is eyelid procedures to remove the excess folded skin, to lift the eyelids. A lot of facial cosmetics, Botox, anything in and around the orbit, on and around the face. If you need to reduce tissue swelling, you can use the cold application for that as well. So it's interchangeable. The mask comes with both the hot pack and the cold pack. And it's just been a process of development, but it's gotten to a point where I think the product is really user friendly, and we find that the majority of people that use it really benefit greatly from it.
And anyone can use it, all ages?
Absolutely. For example, my patient liaison officer's daughter, who is in her early teens, and this is the problem. We're seeing a lot of teenagers sitting in front of a screen, spending many hours a day in front of a screen, and they develop oil gland dysfunction and dry eye. So she uses it prophylactically, so to speak, and really enjoys it. So you actually have this mask on, and you lie back, you listen to music for 10 minutes, you do a bit of meditation or your own time down, and people find it quite relaxing and therapeutic. So as they say, prevention is better than cure. So a lot of people are finding great benefit from it. Absolutely.
And lastly, Dr. Joseph, is there a distributor in South Africa that's currently stocking it and supplying it professionally?
Yes. So interestingly, 3 years ago, I came back from my fellowship in Ireland doing refractive surgery, and it's one of the world's most renowned clinics for refractive surgery, and we used the mask there and went through about 2,000 units for the year because we see so much dry eye. We're doing refractive surgery, and in South Africa, we just found, trying to distribute it from my practice was impossible because I'm a dedicated refractive surgeon, so we needed someone to take it on board. So we found a really a great new dynamic company called Vertice Medical, and they have basically taken distributor ownership of the product, and they'll be visiting optometry practices, ophthalmic practices, plastic surgery practices, and distributing the Opti-Therm mask through their network. They've got a lot of people on the ground, so the reach would be bigger than what we could do alone. I think a lot of people don't know about the problems associated with dry eye or post-refractive surgery discomfort when it comes to PRK, for instance, photorefractive keratectomy, and these masks are really designed to improve your comfort.
That's fantastic. Dr. Joseph, just lastly, how do we get in touch with you?
Jan, we're based in Knysna. Our local landline number is 044 150 0085. You can speak to Mariska in the front. Our email address is info@drdylanjoseph.com, drdylanjoseph.com. And we're on social media as well. We have a Facebook page, Instagram page, and a YouTube channel where we share our videos, including videos of Opti-Therm and the applications of Opti-Therm. So please go and check that out and let us know if this could be of benefit to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, as always, for your time, and also enjoy the conference later this week.
Thank you very much, Ian. Looking forward to it, and it's always a great learning experience, and to teach and to learn. If we ever stop doing that, well, then we know we've got to change careers. Hey?
I second that. Absolutely. So true. Wishing you a wonderful week. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thanks, Ian. You too. Take care.